the Obedience are on the in or on the out. What can you tell us about the facts of the matter?
Well, the leader of the Obidient Movement is His Excellency Peter Obi. And he has made it categorically clear that he's into a coalition of individuals who believe that Nigerians are in hunger, insecure, educational situation dwindling, the economic situation has gone berserk, and there's no clear direction. And so therefore, he as a champion of good governance determined that, look, I must join other colleagues to work together to find a solution out of the situation. And right from the beginning, he had made his position very clear that I'm joining this particular coalition for the 2027 general election. I'm still a member of the Labour Party. And that was made it very, very clear. And I'm happy that the coalition unveiled political party and the chairman has said that certain individuals, i.e. Peter Obi and other persons, are exempted until when the time in which they have said this is when they are going to do A, B, C. So it's a clear situation. There's no ambiguity in it. And Mr. Peter Obi is a card-carrying member of the Labour Party. He has not joined two political parties, only one. And the idea is that it's just individuals that are discussing. The political parties have not yet been into the coalition or discussion of working together as a team. But individually, very much involved with his own colleagues.
So the issue of marginalizing the Obedience Movement as far as the setup of the coalition is concerned, this is just not true?
Well, at the initial stage, we have issues that we needed to make sure that they are being corrected. And you know, Peter Obi, he's a Democrat. He listened to his people. And once his people speak, he listened to them and find solution to it. I think some of our people who are not too happy with certain situations find a way of communicating to His Excellency. And I think those who need to listen to it are listening.
In sense of what the movement that you are obviously the spearhead thinks of the internal confusion, chaos, crisis, however you want to describe it, what's happening with the ADC right now. Over the past couple of days, we've seen some very concerning developments with the ADC about the legitimacy of the leadership and some of those internal fracas. How concerned are you as someone whose principle is aligned with the coalition on the platform of the ADC?
Well, I'm only happy that they've been able to find their bearing. And I think by now, the chairman of the ADC, who is, of course,
Senator
David Mark, his name is already clearly
stated. It's one of those who are saying they're leading the party. There are others who are also...
Of course, but at least the major actor, and all of their names now is appearing on the INEC portal. And that's very important. So there's legitimacy in leadership. So all other things can be carried along, can be dealt with. And that is the reason why it's very important that a person like Peter Obi, who has stood firm in the quest and demand for good governance in Nigeria, had also pitched his tent and leading that particular charge as is required.
All right, let's talk percentages now, something to give Nigerians a clear picture. You say it's a good thing that the ADC is willing to extend some sort of olive branch to allow key players like Peter Obi and Malam Nasir Rufai to exist in two different political parties. I mean, Peter Obi has not officially joined any other political party as far as we know, right? But he has publicly expressed his support for the coalition and what it stands to represent. But talk to me about what we've been hearing also from the grapevine about the PDP outrightly quoting Peter Obi. I mean, Professor Jerry Ghana was on national television saying, listen, we want to bring him back. We want him to join our ranks, and he has a very good chance of winning in 2027. The North will vote for him. He has all the support that he needs. Recently, he was in Bauchi, and Governor Bala Mohammed, who unapologetically has been a big fan of Peter Obi over the past couple of months, has also said, listen, come back to the PDP. So, is it 50-50 with Peter Obi about PDP and ADC and Labour Party? What are the options here? Because it's quite confusing, to say the least.
No, he is a very humble Democrat, and is so appreciative to all of these calls by all of them. It may amaze you to know, almost out of 16 political parties, we can almost say 8 political parties are beckoning on Peter Obi. Not because not because he's the most handsome person, not because he's the most intelligent, not because he's the most caring, but because he represents an interest. The interest is about the Nigerian youth, who he stands for, and protecting their interests, and he's speaking the language that they understand. And that's why they are continuously demanding for him to be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So when you have such a humongous support, as a leader, what you need to do is bring everybody on board and lead the charge. And that's exactly what he's trying to do, to make sure that everybody who believe in the area of emancipating the Nigerian people from hunger, poverty, and all educational deprivation and all work together as a team. And when you get that, the momentum will be more strong for you. And that's exactly what he's looking at. So the beckoning by all these political parties is a welcome development. It gives strength to the coalition.
All right. I mean, you say that, but a lot of people are not necessarily convinced that, keeping all those options open is necessarily the best political move? Would you say that he's keeping all these options open? Whether it's Labour Party, whether it's PDP or ADC?
Because many of our people are not used to different style of politics, and he has brought something new. If you are the one that people are beckoning on in a large number, would you throw away any one of them who is beckoning on you? Obviously, no.
But there's no chance that the ADC will work with PDP and the Labour Party.
You can't say that when the target is one. What is the target? To win elections. And when is the issue of winning election? You have a humble politician who has been able to connect with the people, showing level of how you can put people out of poverty, giving a reverse method on how you can lead and change the narrative of the politics. Peter Obi is not, like quoted by Channel Television, one of my colleagues, Peter Obi, said that Peter Obi conquered greed. He did not only conquer greed, he also annihilated selfishness. He annihilates selfishness, meaning that he's ready to accommodate everybody so that we can be able to work together as a team. And this is a person who have been able to connect with this vast experience as a former governor, who have shown empathy, creative thinking, knowing the problem. He's not going to go back and become president and start searching for solution to the problem, because already he knows the solution to the problem. He only wants to administer it.
Yeah, but don't you also understand the concerns of some people within your ranks, for instance, who say, listen, beware of the dynamites, of the landmines in all of these other political platforms, including the Labour Party, for instance, which has been engulfed in some sort of internal civil war. That it's best he gives a clear message to not just his followers, but to everybody who supports him, that listen, this is where my loyalty lies, right? Because listen, Obedience have no love lost with PDP, for instance, and some are not necessarily 100% sold on the ADC project yet. Do you think your principles, open-minded approach could fracture the base?
Why not? Because when you look at it, it's just like you having an old rickety vehicle that has a lot of issue. It may not be at 100% working condition, but then here you have somebody's bringing the tires, somebody's bringing the wheels, somebody's bringing the brand new engine, somebody is thinking about how to make the gear more accessible and easily to ride. At the time of its own that you've completed all of this donation to giving you a brand new car, how do you feel? Is the car going to work as a brand new, or going to be as one part of it working? So which one would you prefer? A new vehicle, vehicle that works at its 100% throttle to be able to confront this particular cankerworm, because it's very clear we have a situation in our hands, and that makes me remember at a point in time that when former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amechi, was saying that look, Peter Obi was the only governor, a governor who supported President Goodluck Jonathan. This is an opponent talking about the praises of another opponent. He said he was the only one, even when they are trying to remove Jonathan, it was only Peter Obi who stood by President Jonathan. And so it's invariably saying that this is the time President Jonathan too will repay that particular good gesture by calling on everybody to come out and support Peter Obi. This is some of the noble things that Nigerians want to hear, and it's because the man has been able to bring out the best in everybody, saying that Peter. So they're not saying any other thing. Peter, when you look at all the calculation in Nigeria as of today, and we're humbled by it, there is no place you will see whether they're discussing about politics in Nigeria that Peter Obi's name is not mentioned.
You talk about, what Mr. Ame said on a different platform, talking about the integrity or the personality of Peter Obi, conquering greed, conquering all these other, difficult political questions that many leaders are unable to deliver on, right? Do you think he has what it takes to do the impossible, to conquer the greed in other political parties, to conquer the personal interests of all these political figures who are in charge of all these other political parties? Do you think Peter Obi can do the impossible by uniting all these opposition forces under one umbrella?
He told me a story. So one of his commissioners and some of his commissioners who were working with him, by the way, he has almost 60% of his commissioners that are female. In fact, his chief of staff was a female. That's to tell you how trust he has in the gender perspective. He told all of them, you can earn legitimate earning and live credibly well than you engage in corruption. Meaning that if there's a contract being given, nobody is expected to inflate it, rather do the work and then get your own credit. That is how every of the commissioners work together with him as a team. There are different people, the way they communicate with their principal. In his own case, he moves around with his commissioners in a bus, and they argue each other to say, look, Mr. Governor, what you're suggesting is not correct. This, I think, is better. And he yields to superior argument. Those are the kind of people we want in leadership role. Not those who will give you authoritarian kinds of view And by saying all of this, he doesn't only speak about his characteristic, but he exemplifies it. When you talk about character, you can find it in Peter Obi. When you talk about compassion, you can find it in him. When you talk about credibility, he is champion in that. When you talk about consistency, you cannot take away that from him. When you talk about credibility and accountability, Peter Obi stands tall in all of this. And you have not been able to find him wanting in any of this. So in that case, why would you shop for another when you have such an individual?
Yeah, but I mean, I understand you're making the ideal case, but if we're being practical and pragmatic about it, knowing what you know about Nigerian politics, can he do it? Can he bring everybody under one umbrella?
Let me give you a clear-cut example. We have a situation in our country where we're depending so much on oil as a form of revenue. Okay, now here is somebody who's telling you agriculture can fetch us four times of what we are getting in oil, leveraging on the north as a case study. I'm talking about improved way of communication with the farmers in our local farming issue. In the north, the majority of our work is agriculture. Now talk about somebody who said, okay, at the first year before farming starts, everybody that is involved in farming will connect with your cooperative society, will connect with your emirs and leaders to provide you with working materials, i.e. tractors, plowing machines, seedlings and all, directly before the timing for farming takes place. And you see that being done practically. Who benefits? The northern people, and including their younger generation benefit from it. And then at the end of it, what is the result? We are now moving from consumption to production. No more hunger, because the people would produce and then they'll be able to sell their produce. And at the same time, you may want to ask, how did the farmers go into their own farm, especially the issue of corruption? Because majority of the farmers, those who engage into security, social malfeasances, will also see there's a purposefulness and the direction of a leader who takes care of the interests of the people. That is the quality and character that Peter Obi exemplifies, and that is what we really need in this country. We don't need a recycled product that cannot be able to produce new ideas that new Nigerians needed. And that's why most of the time you have a slogan in the Obidient Movement, we say a new Nigeria is possible.
Right, you mentioned Goodluck Jonathan earlier, the former president, and some would say he has become the new bride. He has become the star boy of opposition game plan. We've heard his name mentioned within the PDP ranks. There are calculations that are factoring the Goodluck element. There are calculations on the ADC side that also has the Goodluck element. We understand that some of his political allies are in conversation with the leadership. Does that worry you? That the attention is moving away from your
Not with a pinch of salt, none. And I explain. And this is a time in which, especially our northern brothers, should be careful, because they are dropping the name of the north. He himself, His Excellency, former President Goodluck Jonathan, you should also be mindful that they are dropping his name. And the idea behind it is this. You have a popular candidate who supported you at the time of your needs, and you know that he's popular. It is the best time for you to support that particular individual, because it's time to you to make a repayment. And the reason why you should do this is that those microscopic few who have held this country in total abject poverty are trying to use the former president against the interest and the will of the people. And this is what they are saying, that a Goodluck Jonathan presidency will be easily manipulated, may be easily be used by the North, the quotes, by the North, so that the North can now have easy access to somebody that they can trust, as against credible person who is trying to change the narrative of your economic well-being.
Yeah, but who is saying that, Dr. Tanko?
You just said, did you mention any name when you said they're becoming a new brand? No, you didn't. Because the same people who are calculating, who are sending those permutations, are trying to change the narrative. And I'm saying this for my own brothers in the North. We shouldn't allow ourselves to be used. Because when they say, it's the North that is bringing in Jonathan and all of that, and he himself, President Goodluck Jonathan, knows very well that the most popular candidate as we speak today is Peter Obi. And so he should be a very good father that he is. Yeah, and he has been enjoying the international community favor, and said, look, at this point in time, we've already enjoyed our position with them. And I remember with nostalgia the statement of Peter Obi. He said, those who have plunged our country into a dwindling economy should have a house where all of their names will be mentioned one after the other. But now we should be able to encourage new generation so that they can be able to change the narrative. I'm quoting him, and this is the time. So we should be careful, and he should be careful so that he cannot be used against the will of the people.
Two questions. Are you saying Peter Obi is the new generation? Because last time I checked, he's part of the old guard. And then the next question is...
he grew within the ranks. He has never been the president.
Yeah, but he is a part of the system.
No, he was a governor. Yeah. That's sure. And then everybody is expected to grow within the rank. Had it been that he was not the governor, the question you would have asked me is that he doesn't have the experience.
I'm not sure I'm going to ask you that, but the question is, you say that he supported Goodluck Jonathan.
Yes, he did. I did not even say, he did not even say it was Rotimi Amechi.
Right, okay. Be that as it may, right? The question one would ask is, I suppose you're saying Goodluck is not the best candidate at the moment. Right?
At the moment.
That's what you're saying. But the argument is, one could also say that if Peter Obi trusted Goodluck Jonathan's leadership before the emergence of the APC, why would he change his mind now? If Goodluck was good for Nigeria then, why isn't Goodluck good for Nigeria now?
No, I never said that he's not good. I only said that there's an advancement. When you are past a Rubicon of leadership, you've already enjoyed your own position. It is good that you keep away from the stage so that you can hand over to a younger generation. You only groom people so that they can be better. Don't forget, he was also the member of the economic team of President Goodluck Jonathan. So that way, he has gone through the Rubicon of being trained. And so he has become a man of himself. The only thing that is remaining is to hand over the battle to him so that he can continue from where they have stopped. Is
there any conversation between these two?
They have an excellent relationship. Excellent and beautiful relationship, including the former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So there's this symbiotic discussions and all we are saying is that Nigerians and indeed the world is looking up to a newer generation of leaders that can take us to the next position.
Right. I'm not sure everybody is sold on the fact that you're repeatedly saying that Peter Obi is, the newer generation.
Yes, because I have my fact and I've already exemplified and I put them on ground.
Right. A lot of people will say he has been around for the past 2 decades in the political arena. So.
Yes, and then of course he has grown up the ranks.
Right. Okay. His one-term offer.
Very fantastic idea.
A lot of people have, pushed back on that, saying this is more about political strategy than actually national development, because there are no guarantees when it comes to leadership, when it comes to governance, especially governing a country like Nigeria. He tweeted about it, and that in itself caused quite the national interest. Most recently, he's also talked about a single-term offer, something that former President Goodluck Jonathan had attempted to achieve. What do you have to say in defense of those who say this is all just political calculation on his part, that he's been disingenuous by insisting that he's only going to serve 1 term and 1 term is going to be enough for him to fix Nigeria?
You see me smiling at you because there's a lot of deficit of trust in our country. So even somebody is telling you the truth, you look at his face and say maybe you are lying. I'll give you a story. Peter Obi visited Kano State somewhere last year during the fasting period, and he actually was received in the Triumph Mosque in Fagi local government, warmly received. In fact, we broke our fast with our people in the mosque. There was no difference, and it was amazing even to me. And so Peter Obi said, this is love at its actually epic level. So he promised to support them on his own without them asking him for anything. Without them asking. It was so good. So he went back. Months later, nobody had them querying him or asking him for anything. It was actually me that he queried. How can they will promise something we have not gone back to make those particular promises? To do that particular promise, okay, we are going back to Kano. So we went to Kano. Surprisingly to them, he presented them with a check of 2 million naira. He presented them with a check. So that's to tell you that there's a time in which we start believing in ourselves. That when somebody makes a promise, a Peter Obi keeps to his promise. And when he keeps to his promise, that is the reason why most of the things that he said on the public domain became a national issue. When he mentioned it, everybody took a cue to it. Everybody took a cue to that particular 1 time.
I mean, but the one-time conversation has been around for quite some time.
No, but at least when he said it, it became an issue. Anything that Peter Obi does, it becomes an issue in this country. That's why he's on the tip and mouth of everybody. And he's grateful and he's humble with that. Now, let's even examine the one-time issue. It is the turn of the South to go unconstitutionally. The South has already served 2 years with abysmal failure performance. And that, of course, has been clear. So him, for being a good Democrat, who want to respect the agreement of the people and say, look, I will not even serve more than that 4 years that is remaining of the South. So that what? To give to the North their own ample opportunity of serving for it. But is that not fairness?
But Dr. Tanko,
do you even applaud him for making that particular
Dr. Tanko,
is it not to the advantage of the North?
Do you understand, Dr. Tanko, for people who say, listen, he doesn't have a crystal ball. He cannot give what he doesn't have. It's not his to give away. The Constitution allows for a person, an individual, to run for 2 terms, maximum 8 years. As far as the amendments are concerned, that is what we have right now.
And the Constitution did not say must.
Right, not must.
So
but of course,
you have a right to decide to serve 4 years.
There's the question around how politicians cannot be trusted. And for some reason, a lot of people have also drawn comparisons to say, listen, Peter Obi might be different in some regards, but he's also a human being. And he has given people reason to believe that sometimes he can go back on his words. that, you know, at one point he said he was never going to leave APGA, and he has left APGA for other political parties. Why should Nigerians trust him now if he can go back on his words?
Because most of the things that he has said, I give you an example, he has never failed in his promise. And that's the reason why I say
Juma promised, but he promised he wasn't going to leave APGA, and he left.
No. Juma does not until the Wednesday that is going to be fine, you start seeing it from the Friday, right? You start seeing it from a Wednesday. And everything he has promised, he has fulfilled. And that is the reason why,
with the exception of leaving APGA.
The APGA issue came on with a reasonable factual fact that you can say, but at the same fact, he didn't leave APGA as in leaving APGA based on the fact. He left with factual reasons why that.
So what if Dr. Tanko, if 2027 comes, for one reason or the other, Mr. Peter Obi wins, right?
Yes.
And we're in 2031.
Yes.
And he says, listen, for the obvious facts that, you know, we have some unfinished business. We need to fix this. We need to fix this. I have to run again.
Remember.
What happens then?
Remember, he doesn't have a sole right to that particular being re-elected, even if he failed to complete his promise. It is still the people that have the right to vote. So why are we disturbed about it? It is the people who will decide. Because already the people will pick that against him, that you promise and fail. But the man has his integrity and is trying to prove it beyond reasonable doubt.
What if Nigerians say, listen, you've done so well, you've kept your promise, we've seen Nigeria transform all the last 4 years under your stewardship, we want you to continue.
That would be
is he going to deny Nigerians?
That would be a plus for his credibility and integrity, for saying, look, I made promise to the Nigerian people and I will fulfill them. And he also said, look, I will leave office even a night before. Maybe I will just come on the 29th for the ceremonial activity, but I will leave before, not more than. And he keep on stressing it. To even some of us who are his disciple, we keep on asking the same question that he's asking. He said, Tanko, go and check. If I say I'm going to do something, I will do it. I'm a proud northerner. And so even if that we wouldn't say that, okay, my part of the country will be shortchanged. And so I will not even support also the other part of this particular country to be shortchanged by anybody. So the North will have his own 8 years, and then the South should have his own 8 years, though unconstitutional, but for a gentleman agreement for the progress of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Peter Obi promised to serve 4 years, and please, you can take it to the bank. Put it in that vote, right. Central Bank.
I'll take your word for it. Let's talk about the political arena right now. He has been everywhere, you know, taking part in humanitarian activities, right? And we've seen a heightened, you know, presence of Mr. Peter Obi all over the place recently. How much of that is politics, and how much of that is actually just an individual trying to help people out? Because some of these donations, a lot of people say, are great gifts, because he's a politician and he's trying to make the most of the public persona that he's building. If
there are other candidates that have such compassion, consistency and care for the people, let them try the same thing that he's doing. And let's even assume that it's even politics. What he's giving to the people is different from those who go behind in the middle of the night sharing people in order to corrupt them. But this is an open donation to the schools, School of Nursing and all. Let me give you an example of what happened in Bauchi. There was a little bit mix-up as regard to one primary school that we were supposed to visit. A check was presented, and that particular check was carrying another name. So he withdrew it and told them by Monday, that money will be transmitted into the account. Because of lack of patience of the visited school, they were already having somebody who want to use it for political gain has already started tweeting. You know how popular Peter Obi is. I know he promised he did not fulfill. He promised before you can say 12 o'clock, the money has already appeared in the people's account, and it becomes shameful for those who are already treading and trying to make traction with his name. He's a person that wants to show that he cares, and the most important thing is that he's reaching out to the people where nobody expected to happen. Right. Basically, it could have even been gathering some politicians and they say they are the owners or the gatekeepers, giving them this particular money and all. But it's impacting to the people and to the lower trodden. Talking about almajiris, talking about entrepreneurship, talking about schools, nursing schools that care for the people, talking about people who need this money in building nursing school everywhere. And that, of course, shows you that he is purposeful driven for the interest of the people. Right. He could decide to give his money anywhere he wants to. But this is the area in which. So I think, from your question, it is more humanitarian than politics. All right. Finally, just before you go. Yes. It appears that the Obedience have a very clear message. It's presidency or nothing else. Is that the same thinking of Peter Obi? No. He is being driven by the interest of his people. He has made his politics clear that he can be a running mate. He's not desperate to become president. But as long as his people are championing this particular cause, he is in line with his people. Right. So he's not open-minded about being a running mate again? We have never discussed anything about running mate. Our interest has been the presidency of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Dr. Tanko, as always.
Very good. Very well said. Yunusa Tanko. Very well said. You see, whether anybody likes it or not, Peter Obi still remain number one when it comes to Nigeria politics today. Peter Obi still remain number one. In 2027, Peter Obi is still going to be number one. That one is not a problem. You see, in this government, all we see, all we hear is promise and fail, promise and fail. Promise never fulfilled. They never kept any of those promises they made to Nigeria. And when they say Tinubu is this, Tinubu is this, anything Tinubu has ever trampled upon is failure. I'm not saying he has not really used his political power to do anything good for this country since he became the president of this country. All we see under him is problem, creating problem, necessary problem on opposition party, or just from day one, since he has been working over 20 years ago to be the president. Now he is the president of this country. Day one of him being sworn in, he started working again for the next election if he's going to be re-elected. But unfortunately for him, the next election is not going to go in his favor because there's a lot of problems, there's a lot of divisions. Tinubu has successfully, I know, he has created more problems than before, and a lot of divisions. He has scattered all the political structure everybody put, all the past leader put in place before. He created that division among everybody. Now he's in the ADC, all those things. You see, when you have this kind of person in power who is not trusted, reliable, there is no way you can trust them to deliver dividends of democracy. There's no way you can trust them to deliver the good governance. It's not working, it's not going to work, and this is what we are facing today. If it's going to work, or if anything is going to work on that table, by now you should see the energy and everything he's putting in place to creating problems on opposition. If he has put this energy, all the ministers, if they have put this energy in place to make sure they truly work and do something for this country, you could have seen difference. But hey, it is not so. Now insecurity the order of the day. We now see numbers that the children, they are kidnapping children, they kidnap adults, they're not going to schools. See video flying yesterday where they went to school to kidnap children. They gave them a score, human hair score, with a gun behind them, start begging for money, they should come and release them under this administration. A lot of things has gone wrong. These are things we hardly see before, but now it is rampant. Why? Because we have a president who Nigerians say no to. He forced himself on us, and Nigeria want to show him. You see, this kind of people, there is no growth under them, there's no development under them, because the more he's tried to be nice, the more he's tried to no, nothing. The more people are telling him that, hey, we don't want you here. There is no focus. So that's the reason why we are here talking about this. We don't see anything good that this man has delivered for the past 2 years now. Whether anybody likes it or not, Peter Obi still remains number one. Peter Obi may not be the messiah that is going to change this country to like London overnight, but Peter Obi is still number one among anybody you see who may likely come in 2027, or anyone you see bidding for 2027 presidential election. Peter Obi still remain number one. But if they say because of this that he's not going to give it because he's from a particular region, that one is for Nigeria to decide. If we just want power, we just want somebody to remain in office, or we want somebody who is going to deliver, who is going to rescue this country. Now again, I haven't said that. Jonathan, back to you. I'm still waiting for your official statement to say yes or no, you are contesting or you are not contesting. But as it is now, it's still rumors. So that rumors, let it just be rumors and die down. And never you, I don't think you have what it takes to run contest and win election from Tinubu 2027. PDP will only push it forward, and they will still laugh at you later, say because you are not ready, because this, because if they are ready, they want to win election. There are other candidates in the south which they can zone the ticket to. You were there, you know how it is. You are not going back again. Simple. Do not let them pressure you. They put hundreds of you together to contest election in 2027 to defeat Tinubu. I don't think you can do it, because now Nigeria has already found love in Peter Obi, or everybody are queuing behind Peter Obi, saying Peter Obi. So if you come, you can always print the vote. No, I don't even think you can even get more. You can even get more vote than Peter Obi. So this unnecessary distraction should just stop, and let Nigerians focus on one candidate. Like I have said before, focus on one candidate that Nigerians truly love, that Nigeria want to do everything for, to make sure it be their leader. It's not what we want at this time. Is somebody who can deliver this country, who can put this country on the right track, who can get this country working. So every parameters, as we speak now, every parameters are pointing at failure under Tinubu. We need, of course, they don't know what to do. These parameters are still going to continue. They are going to be like this. We need somebody who is going to start changing things. Take from here, put it here, take from here, put it here, and set the roadmap and say, okay, this is where we are going. We now wait for the person, relax. Why you close your eyes, you sleep, you relax while the driver drives you to your destination. Other than that, it's a problem we could all see today. So anyways, what do you think? Please share this video and please subscribe to this YouTube channel.